What's going on, guys? This is EmptyBox, and what you're seeing in the background is probably some Battlefield 3. I don't know, because I'm actually recording this commentary before I record gameplay. But there's some rather interesting news, which is why I'm doing this backwards. First of all, I'd like to say I did a dual commentary just the other day with the LeadMachine. He's a beast of a player, and it's an interesting commentary that's pretty random and pretty fun. If you like my type of videos, you will probably like this. I'll put a link in the description, so go check that out. Second of all, Battlefield 3 patch. The patch should be out probably by the time you guys are watching this video, and the main focus of what that patch is going to be in terms of players, you know, us, largely suppression, as well as fixing the M26, which I think we can all look forward to. Okay, on to the meat of this video. There are two things I want to talk about, which is this Battlefield Premium news, which is coming out, or it came out, leaked out, whatever, because it's interesting, it's juicy,
Holy shit,
as well as will I get close quarters, because I've been asked this a couple times and I want to just kind of toss this out and see where I'm at, think out loud to myself in a video. But first of all, going into that Battlefield Premium, there has been a video that's been circulating, I guess. It's not officially uploaded or anything, so I can't link you because it keeps getting taken down and everything, because I guess this isn't supposed to actually come out. I would guess that this is something that is going to be used by EA at E3, but somehow someone somewhere got their hands on this video and uploaded it, and it's actually quite tasty. It's quite tasty. Yum. But in that video it does mention a couple of things really quickly, in terms of, you know, it doesn't really give you any in-depth information. It's just a short little trailer, of course, but a couple of things to take away from that. Obviously, Battlefield Premium saying there's going to be new modes. One of the modes that you see mentioned is tank superiority, which I would assume, naturally, would be tank versus tank combat and nothing else, which sounds interesting. I would also guesstimate that they would add in air superiority, which I believe was in Battlefield 1943, which is basically air combat only, which a lot of people have been looking forward to, a lot of people, and I would think that would be something that they would be adding in. A couple of different things. They did show off some of the, you could see at least some of the camos and everything, and that they're adding in. And early access is, according to this video, which again, this is not necessarily official, but probably is actually official, but it's not officially out. Early access is 2 weeks early rather than just 1 week. It doesn't say anything if it's as if the PlayStation 3 will still get 1 week earlier access. That'd be kind of weird, because then if you're on PS3 and you have Battlefield Premium, you'd get this DLC 3 weeks earlier before it comes out, which I could just see some issues happening there, because that's a long time, and you know, depending on how many people have Battlefield Premium when it actually comes out, how many people are there going to be to play with when you have this? I mean, is it going to be something where there's more than enough people that you're always finding servers and everything, or is the server selection going to end up really limited until, you know, the actual DLC is actually officially out, is what I'm saying. But that's not the really exciting things. There are a couple other small little things that they do mention, but really I can't even remember them because I don't have the video in front of me right now. So if I can't remember them, they weren't that important. That's the way I look at it. Because, you know, hey, you remember the important things, right? The two interesting things, though, they did have some armored kills screenshots in there, and the map does look giant. It looks like basically an improved version of Operation Firestorm in the two screenshots that we saw. We don't see anything other than just a guy running around, and there's a town off in the distance, a good distance away, as well as just an internal cockpit shot from a vehicle, which it doesn't say what vehicle it is. There's no kill feed or anything for us to guesstimate from. However, later on in the video, there's a couple of outline things when it says get 10 new vehicles or whatever, and this is where the interesting part comes in. First of all, the one that I saw, which I'm guessing it was the internal cockpit shot of what the vehicle is, that mysterious vehicle, because it's not the Abrams that we already have, and it's not the T-90. There's an outline of the vehicle in this, and I'm guessing it's the Striker MGS mobile gun system, which I would estimate would basically perform sort of like an LAV, only with a much larger, slower rate of fire gun, sort of like a Not quite a tank, not quite an MBT, but not quite an IFV, somewhere in between, which would be quite interesting, to be perfectly honest, you know. If you had a more heavily armored, more powerful gun on the LAV, and then you basically said, you know, you can only carry 2 or 3 guys in the back or whatever, that would be pretty interesting. But that's not the really interesting one. And actually, before I go into the really interesting one, they also did show off a vehicle that basically had rocket pods on the back. I'm not sure what it is because I don't know that section of military hardware too terribly well, but basically akin to the MLRS, which, if you guys know what that is, basically a vehicle that launches rockets and everything and causes unholy death. But the interesting one, and this is guaranteed to be interesting either way, they have an outline in that same section of a C-130. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what a C-130 is, basically it's the troop transport. People jump out, you know, blah blah blah, pull your parachutes and don't go splat at the bottom. Now, I'm not sure if that's a C-130, which is just the standard unarmored version, you know, like a troop carrier and paradrop type transports, or if it's the AC-130, which I think everybody knows what the AC-130 is by now, aka, yeah, you're fucked. Now, if it's the C-130, that's really interesting in its own right, because this single fact that I would expect that if it was just a standard C-130, you could really do some interesting things with paradrops and everything, where, you know, you have one guy flying and you all load up into the back of this transport aircraft, and you get to the drop zone, and you just all jump out, you know, and that would be exciting. That would be interesting. I don't think something like that has really been done in Battlefield outside of maybe a couple of mods. Of course, if it's the AC-130, I think we all know the fun that could be had. That would definitely be interesting, and that would definitely showcase the destruction system in Battlefield. So I would not put it past DICE to actually add in the AC-130. And I would expect the way that vehicle would work, you'd probably have to have one guy flying, as well as one guy in the back gunning, or something. Or maybe it's even something hinting at maybe like a Titan mode, you know, where you have basically your fire support aircraft, which would be the AC-130 or C-130 if you even wanted to go that way, although I think the AC-130 would make more sense in this one, which can, you know, rain in huge death off map and everything, and that's sort of like you want to protect this, otherwise you're at a supreme disadvantage, you know, which wouldn't be quite like Titan mode, but it could be something interesting that they could work in. So I think that's really interesting. I'm really excited to see some more information on armored kill and all that, because with, you know, a new type of vehicle on the ground that's not quite a tank, not quite an IFV, and is actually somewhere in between, and the fact that we have heard that, you know, mobile artillery is coming, which goes back to the rocket vehicle I mentioned earlier, that could be really interesting. Tank superiority, not necessarily something I'd be looking forward to, but at the same time, you know, that'd be a new interesting mode that could be added in fairly easily and could actually work fairly well within Battlefield, of course. So, what do you guys think? You guys excited for that? Does that sound interesting? I just seriously, you know, when I saw that C-130, I was like, holy crap, guys. Yeah, that could be amazing. Either way, that could be amazing, so long as it's actually player flyable and usable. That would just be insane. Insane. I'm serious. Insane. But anyways, close quarters, because I want to touch on this because it seems to come up in every single video. Will I be getting close quarters? I don't know. I really don't know. On one hand, I most certainly, if Battlefield 3 is fixed by this current patch, and honestly, my two biggest issues with Battlefield 3 right now, because obviously the patch isn't out right now, but it will be probably by the time you see this video, the suppression just ruined the game for me. It completely made the recon kits just absolutely unbearably infuriating, to the point where I was really, really close to actually throwing my mouse, and mice aren't cheap, so yeah. That's my biggest issue. They're saying that the suppression is going to be toned down from what it is right now, or was previously, to something that was more. There's more of an effect from what it was originally, but there's less of an effect from where it is now or pre-patch, which could go either way. Could be just fine and dandy, but I don't know. But they did say that the shotguns will be getting less of a suppression effect, which is thank God. But you know, it's not that I won't get the use out of a $15 DLC with weapon packs or weapons. You know, 10 weapons, $15, $1.50 a weapon. Not that hard. I mean, I can easily justify that. $15 isn't, you know, life or death. If you can't afford $15, you probably shouldn't be gaming in the first place. Or you should be just hawking Steam and just completely ravaging their sales when they do that. But you know, it's not that I can't justify it, but the maps, do I really want to support them? You know, on one hand, it won't really do anything. You know, me not buying it, you not buying it, 3 other guys not buying it isn't going to simply say, send a message to EA and DICE, oh hey, don't ever do this again, die in a fire. You know, that's, the boycott thing doesn't work because there's never enough people to go with it. So really it's just kind of, we're along for the ride, and it doesn't really matter what we do, what we say, because what they're going to do, they're going to do. So, you know, I could definitely get the use out of the weapons. The maps don't necessarily interest me, but, you know, who knows? Maybe they'll be fun, at least for a diversionary thing, to just run around in team deathmatch or whatever and just, you know, be stupid. Which, you know, yeah, that's fun and all every now and then, but whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. I could definitely justify the purchase, but again, it boils down to the fact that, do I really want to support these maps? You know, really, it's not. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's not worth it for the money. For, I mean, even the weapons, yeah, I'll definitely get the money out of, because I guarantee you, I will serve a star every single one of those weapons, and you know, probably much more, because a lot of the weapons in close quarters are fairly interesting to me, in my type of weaponry. But I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I am undecided right now, and I don't think I'll make a decision anytime soon. But we'll see, because I'm sure a lot of you guys will be definitely excited if I do, because you guys would be like, yay, close quarters map footage, yeah! So that's going to be that. Hope you guys found this video interesting and exciting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that gameplay that I totally don't know if it's even there. So that's going to be that.